What is going on, world? What's up, YouTube? It's Zero here. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are doing another episode of the 8 Below podcast, and I'm extremely excited to be bringing you all episode number 10 of the 8 Below podcast. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. I am, of course, your guy, Zero, as I said. And today, you guys are just going to be able to listen to me for the next half hour to hour, talking all about this game that just dropped on all of us all of a sudden and has absolutely made waves in the community as a whole, in gaming, and it's just absolutely blown up to massive proportions, and that being none other than Apex Legends. So, guys and girls, as I said, today on the show, it's just myself. It's not going to have any guest stars with me. We are working, of course, very hard to get more guest stars on the show. Last week, for those of you who tuned in, of course, we had a full cast of people on the show talking about girls in competitive gaming and talking about, the ins and outs of Call of Duty and the CWL and such. And so that was an absolutely incredible episode. And if you guys have not seen that yet, I would highly recommend checking it out on the YouTube channel. Gives a lot of insight as to, girls in competitive gaming, so on and so forth. So without further ado, though, I want to get into this show and this episode of the 8 Below podcast. As I said, thank you so much for being here, everyone. And welcome to 8 Below, where we are going to be talking all about Apex Legends. Guys, for those of you who are new to the 8 Below podcast, we talk about pretty much everything in the world of gaming and gaming news. We talk about things that are interesting to us in, of course, the universe and in the world around us. Whether that being, esports, gaming, traditional sports, movies, whatever it is, guys, we talk about it here on 8 Below. We generally have, of course, our normal show notes as far as what we generally have to talk in more depth about. But we love talking about really everything and anything on the 8 Below podcast because we want to be able to reach as many of you as possible out there that are interested in very specific things. So I'm excited about this episode of 8 Below. And to get started, guys, we're, with Apex Legends, as I said, this game dropped on everyone all of a sudden. I mean, just absolutely out of nowhere. Respawn Entertainment and EA decided to drop a Titanfall Battle Royale known as Apex Legends out of nowhere. Didn't do any kind of promotions or, didn't try to promote the project or the game whatsoever. They just dropped it on the world as a free-to-play Battle Royale game. And they got the biggest streamers in the world to start to play it. And it was probably the best strategy that I have ever seen from a company because not only did they get the biggest streamers out there to start playing it, once those big streamers started playing it as in just playing it from a standpoint of they were just getting paid to play the game, they decided that it was so good, these big streamers, that they just continued playing it moving forward. So absolutely mind-blowing how well Respawn and EA put together this entire project and how secretive it was. No one knew about this project. No one knew it was coming. Everyone who was involved in the Titanfall universe absolutely thought that we were going to be seeing a possible Titanfall 3 at some point or another. But absolutely mind-blowing how this all came about. And so what I want to touch up on, though, to start the show is, more so, where is Titanfall 3? So I made a video on the YouTube channel talking about, where's Titanfall 3? And what is the future now of Titanfall that Apex Legends came out? And there was I'm in a couple of Titanfall groups on Facebook, and from the general gist of what I've gotten from people in those groups is that a lot of people like Apex Legends. They think it's a pretty good game, but they really want Titanfall 3, and that's what they've all been really hoping for at least an announcement of Titanfall 3, but they have gotten nothing like that. They've more so just got this game that drops on everyone, known as Apex Legends. It absolutely blows up, and all of these players that have been playing Titanfall 1 and 2 for, all these years, they're trying to, they want Apex Legends, the player base that's there, they want those players to come to Titanfall 2 and give Titanfall 2 a chance. And I can totally see that as a valid thing. Absolutely. I believe that, this is a game that, with Apex Legends, I do believe it's going to continue to be a massive force to be reckoned with in the Battle Royale genre. But I would love to see some of those people that play Apex Legends maybe give Titanfall a shot, see what they think of Titanfall itself, because Titanfall is a fun franchise. It's a fun game, and it's a fun series, and I personally feel for all of those people that love Titanfall, who want to see a Titanfall 3, I totally feel for you. It's hard to see, obviously, into the future, and we're going to kind of talk about what Vince Zampella said on Twitter regarding Titanfall and Titanfall projects, which of course we got to take with a grain of salt because we have no idea exactly what that could possibly all mean. But before we get to that, I really would love to see, I've always wanted to see Titanfall succeed somewhat to a point where it's another game that you can play that's really fun and such. I just feel that, personally, the reasoning why Titanfall 2 didn't do as well as, let's just say, other games, as far as shooters are concerned, simply because they put Titanfall 2, or they made the release date in between the release date of Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. And that was a massive, massive mistake. I think that Vince Zampella, of course, this is a guy who created, Call of Duty 2, COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, a brilliant mind, goes over to Respawn Entertainment and over to EA, creates Titanfall, this franchise, this universe, which, by the way, a lot of the mechanics of Titanfall were taken, of course, by Call of Duty. Call of Duty kind of ripped off of Titanfall throughout a few of the games. More in particular, Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, and Infinite Warfare. So, I can see why Vince Zampella, Respawn, and of course EA wanted Titanfall to be the next Call of Duty. They wanted people to start playing Titanfall, so they wanted to release it at a point where it would compete against Battlefield as well as Call of Duty, which ended up not being a very good decision. Because when it comes down to it, if it's not a free-to-play game, which of course Apex Legends is, but Titanfall 2 was not a free-to-play game, and you have to choose between Titanfall, Call of Duty, and Battlefield, most likely you're going to pick either Battlefield or Call of Duty. And usually you're going to pick Call of Duty. Because of the name, because of just, how the replayability, and usually you get a full package where it's a multiplayer, a campaign, and so on and so forth. But so right off the get-go, Titanfall 2 had a really rough go. So really, in my opinion, EA took a massive leap of faith with this Apex Legends title coming out as a Titanfall Battle Royale game in the Titanfall universe. And now we have this actual competitor to Call of Duty as well as Fortnite. And that is incredible because somehow, some way, out of all of this, out of no promoting, out of just the sheer amount of taking a leap of faith, this company, of course, Respawn Entertainment and EA, now have a gold mine in their presence or in their portfolio of games. And that is that's incredible. And I'm very, very happy for EA as well as Respawn that this is a successful game, and it's probably going to be pretty successful for a period of time. Now, as far as the Apex Legends and my initial impressions on this game when it first was released I was excited about it. I was really excited about this game. I thought this game was going to be a very good game. I guess I can't say that I really thought it was going to be a very good game. I thought that the game was going to be pretty good, though. I had a feeling that it was going to be decent at least, right? It's a Titanfall game. From the reveal they did on Apex Legends, it looked really interesting and it looked really cool. So once jumping into the game, I love the concept of it's different in many ways. Now, there are things that Apex Legends kind of ripped off of Blackout, in my opinion. There's other things, though, that they, ripped off of Fortnite and in other games, of course, in the Battle Royale genre. But they did some things very uniquely and very differently, which I really liked. And that being that almost these legends that you get to choose, of course, before each match, they're almost like specialists in Call of Duty. They each have a specific ability that can help you have certain advantages at different points. And of course, each player, right now it's just squads or 3 people to a match or 3 people to a team. You can only pick one of those. Each person can only pick one of the legends. They all have to be different. They can't be the same exact legend. So it makes for some very interesting teamwork. And that's the other thing that I want to get into here with this game is the amount of teamwork that was put into this game. That they really created this game around teamwork and having to work together. And that was kind of the second thing, where you drop down pretty much at the exact same time all together, and then you can, of course, branch out, but it's really cool that they tried to keep the team together as best as possible. And I love that. I love the idea of keeping the team together and consistently, working together throughout the match. Also, if you're not in a party and you're just kind of playing by yourself, you don't have to, you don't actually have to be talking to those people. There's ways that, of course, that you can give commands and tell people where we think that we should be going to. We have to get to, let's say we have to start moving out. You can, of course, kind of point or ping certain areas throughout the map. And that's a really cool concept as well that none of these other Battle Royales have at this point. What Apex Legends did was they took the Battle Royale genre and saw kind of what the success was to this point, and they improved it. And when I say they improved it, they improved the first-person shooter Battle Royale genre significantly. So you have Blackout, which kind of started that first-person shooter, or that first-person Battle Royale. And Apex Legends now took some of the stuff from Blackout and kind of did some things on their own and made just the first-person Battle Royale a real thing. Now, there was a lot of hype behind Blackout when it first came out. The same can be said for Apex Legends, but I gotta say, Apex Legends is hitting much bigger numbers than Blackout did at this point. So we've got Apex Legends has been out for, it's going on a week now. Blackout didn't have these numbers. These numbers are huge, massive for Apex Legends. We're talking we've got the biggest, the biggest of the big streamers in the world that are still playing Apex Legends right now. And that's a huge thing. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I'm excited about this because not only is Apex Legends now going to be a real threat to other Battle Royale games. What Apex Legends is going to do now is they are going to significantly put pressure on some of these other companies to consistently be updating, of course, their Battle Royale games, but also doing things that the community really wants. Because I think that one soft subject that a lot of players that played Fortnite or have played Fortnite for a while, one complaint that there is with Fortnite is that it seemed that Epic Games was always doing these updates and consistently doing a lot of different updates that the community wanted at first. But now that the game has they've almost gotten complacent with where they are as far as, the game and the player base. They kind of stopped doing what the community wanted and just doing things their own way. And we can see that has hurt Fortnite in a way. And now that a game like Apex Legends comes out, and it's starting to really take away from the pie that Fortnite had, it's going to force Epic Games. We're already seeing that Epic Games is trying to make changes to Fortnite to bring people back to Fortnite. And it's crazy what happens when a game like Apex Legends just drops and you see exactly how a game like Fortnite reacts to that. And I guarantee you that Epic Games does not like that Apex Legends, or I should say Respawn Entertainment and EA, are really stepping on their toes right now. They're kind of knocking on that door to try to start taking more of the pie that Fortnite has kind of built here. And so I think what this is going to force, guys, is Fortnite to really start doing things that the community more so wants. I also can say that as regarding Call of Duty is concerned, I feel the same can be said there. For Call of Duty, of course, was never, it was bigger than Fortnite for maybe a week or two, right? And then, it kind of slowly fizzled out and everybody went back to Fortnite because a lot of people just thought it was more fun. I don't know if we're going to have that with Apex Legends. Apex Legends feels like something a little bit different. It feels that people really, really enjoy Apex Legends a lot, and the way how different it is, even though it's still a Battle Royale game. Time will tell, though. Time will tell. Is Fortnite's... people are saying that Fortnite is going to be coming to an end, or it's going to be dying, or it is dying, or it's dead, or whatever. I cannot disagree more. I think Fortnite is still going to be, of course, a big game in Battle Royale. Because we got to look at Battle Royale as a whole, right? You look at the shooter genre. Who really owns the shooter genre? Well, it's got to be Call of Duty. Is there going to be something else that comes up, at some point or another? Sure, maybe. But Call of Duty is at the top. Then you got maybe Battlefield, and then, down lower, maybe Gears of War. You've got Overwatch, of course, which is definitely up there. Halo, even though Halo's been kind of off these past few years, they might be getting it back with Halo Infinite. So what I'm saying is, guys, I think that when Battle Royale really starts to kind of the popularity starts to kind of fizzle a little bit, or it kind of slows down, I think a lot of these games are going to be kind of almost on an even keel, where similar to like the shooter genre, you got the top game, which maybe is Apex, maybe it's Fortnite. Then you got other games that are kind of down lower, like Blackout, and maybe if they make a Halo BR, a Gears of War BR, so on and so forth. So I just think that right now there's just so much popularity in Battle Royale. And that kind of leads me into this next topic, guys. Where did the Battle Royale genre just absolutely explode? And I asked this question because I'm really interested in it. Like, why is Battle Royale so popular? It's something that I just don't understand. I truly don't understand how Battle Royale has become so popular. And I'll tell you this right now, and maybe it's because it's something different, maybe because the gaming industry got complacent with what they were doing, and so other games start coming out that kind of show something different, and that's what everyone's really clamoring to, is just something a little bit different, something original that they can, just something different that they can play, and I think that has a lot to do with it. But I don't know. And Battle Royale, so we can go back to H1Z1, Arma, or I think it was called Arma was the first game, and then, H1Z1, and then you had, of course, we've had PUBG, Fortnite, Blackout now, as well as, and you had Realm Royale, you had Radical Heights, you had all these different Battle Royale games come out. Some of them have kind of fizzled out completely. Others have kind of stayed up there at the top. And I don't understand it, though. Battle Royale is fun. Don't get me wrong. It is a fun game mode. It is a very fun game mode to play. But the fact of just how much popularity has just arisen from this genre is absolutely mind-blowing to me. And maybe, like I said, it could be something to do with the simple fact that it's different. It's been different. But I really feel that there's just so much with the Battle Royale genre. There's just so that it may very well get just oversaturated with games that are going to be going into Battle Royale just because Battle Royale is the big thing right now. And so that's kind of a concern for me as far as moving forward. These companies, a lot of them at least, are going all in on Battle Royale. And I'll give you an example of it. Let's talk about Fortnite, everyone. Epic Games went all in on Fortnite. They went all in, pretty much. They kind of canceled other projects. What was it, Paladins, or there was maybe a couple other games that they were like working on, and they canceled those. And now they're all in on Fortnite. What happens if Fortnite starts to slowly fizzle out, or it kind of comes back to earth, so to speak, and the numbers are good but not incredible, and you've just kind of decided to stick with putting all your eggs in one basket? I don't know. I think it could be a big problem for Epic Games. They're just putting so much into one aspect of their company, or one property, one IP. And I get it to a degree, but at the same time, you know, in the investment world, guys, those of you might know, some of you may not though, if you don't, I am an investor, and I actually do invest in some of these game companies. And so in investing though, kind of a rule of thumb is to diversify your portfolio, so that if one of your stocks or one of your companies that you're invested in, if they start to, their sales or their quarterly earnings start to dip, you have other companies that you're invested in that can kind of keep you afloat. I look at the same thing in gaming. You look at a portfolio like Epic Games, they really don't have much. Sure, they're doing the Epic Games store, and that's going to definitely help. But when we talk about games, we talk about IPs, you're all in on Fortnite. Now let's flip it over to Call of Duty, right? Activision also owns Blizzard. So there's Activision and Blizzard. They also did own Bungie. And what ended up happening was, and this kind of concerns me as far as Activision is concerned, they dropped Destiny, or pretty much dropped Bungie from a company that they kind of owned, and that they were working on different Destiny games, which they got up to 2 Destiny games, and they didn't like how well the company was doing or how well the sales were. So they dropped Bungie, and now they're left with just Call of Duty. Now, of course, they have at least a more diversified portfolio of different games because they own Blizzard. But what happens if they lost Blizzard? All they would have is Call of Duty. So they're essentially a new Epic Games where they're all in on Call of Duty. Now, knowing Activision, I don't think that they would allow to just go all in on Call of Duty. I feel that they would, at some point or another here shortly, we're going to see them branch out, maybe buy another couple game developers and start getting some other projects in the works. I can totally see that happening, but it's just something to think about. Apex Legends, the developers there, are Respawn Entertainment. Let's look at them. They've got a few projects. So you got Apex Legends. They're talking about other Titanfall projects in the future, possibly. And then they've also got a Star Wars Jedi Fallen or something like that. Let's just put it this way. They're working on a Star Wars game, okay, for EA. And then, like, not even talking about just Respawn, but EA as a whole. EA owns Respawn. EA owns, like, the Madden IP, the FIFA IP. They own a lot of these different companies or IPs in the gaming world. Take-Two Interactive, they own, Grand Theft Auto. They own, Rockstar Games as a whole. They've got the NBA 2K series. So some of these companies, they're very smart, and they've kind of diversified their portfolio. But I've always said that the issue with Fortnite wasn't that it was, a game that was going to die. It's the fact that Epic Games has decided to go all in on just Fortnite. Now, they might have other projects in the works, who knows? But at this point, I'm very concerned for Epic Games, because this game, known as Apex Legends, has absolutely taken the gaming world by storm, and people are really, really enjoying it. I gotta say, I'm enjoying it as well. And I love it because I'm more of a first-person shooter guy than a third-person shooter guy. I love Gears of War, and Fortnite's fun as well. But I'm more that first-person shooter, that Call of Duty, Halo, and now with, Titanfall or Apex Legends, I'm into that. I'm into that, especially with Battle Royale. I love Blackout. Blackout's a lot of fun to play. But this is a very well put together game. Here's the thing, guys, is in all reality, this BR, Battle Royale, Apex Legends, it could very well really hurt a lot of other games out there, like Blackout and Fortnite. It may not, though. It may kind of fizzle out after a couple of weeks or a month or two. Who knows? It's hard to say. But what I do know is that the Battle Royale genre is getting more saturated with games and developers moving into the space. And so now it's going to force these other game companies that are already in the Battle Royale space to evolve and do new things. I've always said this with Fortnite. I always thought it would be really cool to have other game modes other than just Battle Royale. Apex Legends, I would love to see other game modes other than just Battle Royale. It's not that Battle Royale isn't enough. It's just the simple fact that it gives variety. Sure, you know what? This is why I love Call of Duty, guys. I can get on Call of Duty, and I can say, I want to play some Blackout for a little while, which is the Battle Royale mode in Call of Duty. And then I can say, you know what? I'm kind of, after I play like an hour or two of Blackout, you know what? I'm going to switch over to multiplayer. And I can then play just straight multiplayer, where it's totally different than that of Battle Royale. And then after a couple hours of playing that, I can switch over to playing some zombies, which is completely different than the other two. This is what these other companies need to do, I believe, in order for it to be sustainable. Why has Call of Duty been on the top for so long? Why does it always sell better than any game ever? Okay, other than, of course, Grand Theft Auto 5. How is it that it outsells every other company every single year? It's because that no matter what, no matter how much people bitch and complain about the game, they still play it because there's so much replayability. Whether it's the Battle Royale, which is new to just Call of Duty Black Ops 4 this year, or the multiplayer, which is just fun because you can just jump in, you can play with your friends, and it's just a lot of fun. A lot of times Call of Duty has a campaign mode, which is a great story mode. People can talk about it, and a lot of people love that stuff. And then on top of all of that, you've got zombies, or you've got Extinction, or you've got, Spec Ops, whatever it is, also to quench your thirst. That's the type of game that these other companies, I believe, need to consistently be evolving. An example would be if Apex Legends decided to do a little side story on each of the legends, so everybody who jumps into the game can learn something new about each of the legends that are in the game. That would be really cool. Hey, why, while we're talking about this, why can't, it would be really neat if Apex Legends decided to do a couple of other game modes, like a team deathmatch mode, not on Kings Canyon, but just on other maps. So then you would really bring in all of the Titanfall fan base into there, because they're used to playing Titanfall, which is a shooter, a first-person shooter. There's no Battle Royale in Titanfall 2. So it would bring in all that fan base to kind of quench their thirst while they're waiting for Titanfall 3. And that leads me to the next thing. They are talking about bringing in, Titanfall 3 is absolutely going to... I gotta say, I still think that Titanfall 3 is going to see the light of day at some point or another. Vince Zampella said that they're working on Titanfall. And he says that, he did, yes, use the T word. So they're obviously working on something. Now, it could mean a lot of things, guys. It could mean that they're working on a novel or like a comic book for Titanfall, or they're working on a mobile game or whatever it is, okay? They're working on something regarding Titanfall. Now, in my personal opinion, I would love to see I'd love to see them do a mobile game as well as making Titanfall 3 itself. I would love to see that. Because a mobile game, even though a lot of people bitch and complain about mobile games, it's still something. It's creating more ways that you can create content around the game, or just to play the game, interact with the franchise, the universe. So a mobile game I think would be good. Then Titanfall 3 would be great. And a novel and all of that really helps support the universe that you're trying to build. And I think the same can be said for Apex Legends. I would love to see them make comic books based around it. I feel that if they just consistently were creating different forms of ways people could like see the content, it would really help. So, do I think that they're going to make a Titanfall 3? I do. I truly believe at some point or another they are going to make a Titanfall 3. And will they make more than Titanfall 3? It's hard to say. But I got to say this. Because of Apex Legends, Titanfall 3 might do a lot better. It may do a lot better. Especially if they decided to do some updates, maybe through you buy Titanfall 3 and there's new updates or new characters you can use in Apex Legends. There's a lot of different ways that they could work it. And I would love to see that at some point or another, a Titanfall 3. Because in my opinion, Apex Legends is a Titanfall masterpiece. It just is, because they've done such a good job of not only, if you feel like you're in the Titanfall universe, but it's a lot of fun. And the replayability is skyrocketing, at least right now in this Battle Royale game. So if you are a Titanfall fan, you should be loving Apex Legends, because guess what? If they are working on a Titanfall 3, Apex Legends is going to quench your thirst, so to speak, until Titanfall 3 comes out, or until the next Titanfall, say, expansion, or the next Titanfall novel, or the next, mobile game, or whatever it is that comes out. It's going to quench your thirst at least until that point. That said, though, guys, I do want to, a couple of the things that I'd love to talk about is, even though I kind of asked the question, is Apex going to affect Fortnite and Blackout? I think it already is. I really do. I think it's already affecting these other games. It's affecting them big time. They are heavily affected by what Apex is doing, or by Apex's existence, essentially. And I think it's a good thing. I really do. Because I think Blackout's going to get better because of it. I think Fortnite is going to get better because of it. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, guys, is, I gave you kind of my thoughts on this game, on Apex Legends. But what I'd like to see in this game, kind of not really necessarily an improvement, but something that they could work on, and something I think would be really neat, would be Titans in Apex Legends. So, for example, let's just say during as the game kind of progresses, as you get a certain amount of kills and such, you can call down a Titan, or a Titan becomes a drop on the map, and then everybody's fighting for that Titan. I would love to see a mode within the Battle Royale of Apex Legends where there are Titans. I think then you would really feel like you are in the Titanfall universe. So I would love to see that. Number 2, I would love to see an all sniper rifle mode in Apex Legends. I think that would be absolutely incredible. The sniper rifles, using them is fun, but at the same time, it just feels pretty ineffective. It feels like it just takes forever to kill guys, and it really does. It takes a while to kill people in Apex Legends. And some people really love that because, and I mean, I like it too, to a degree, where I'm getting shot at and it feels like, oh man, dude, I'm dead. And then I look at my health bar and I still got a decent amount of health. I love that. I mean, obviously, I absolutely love that. But I do feel that the time to kill needs to be a little bit shorter. I would love to see a mode where there's no body armor. That would be really sick. Where it's a little bit, it's just no body armor. You just have your normal health bar, and you better just be sharp and on it. I would love to hear from all of you guys some feedback on all of this, as far as what modes you would like to see. So, like I said, I would love to see Titans in Apex Legends, as far as, whether that's a drop where there's a, Titans drop, or at a certain point throughout the match, or if you have a Titan mode where the Titans, you can call a Titan after you get a certain amount of kills or something. I think that would really be a really cool mode in Apex. I'd love to see an all snipers mode in Apex Legends, and I'd also like to see an all a no body armor mode in Apex Legends. And then, of course, we could talk about the other things that we would like to see, as far as, solos, duos, quads would be kind of cool. And I believe that there was a leak in the code of the game, where or in one of the files of the game, where there was solos and duos is something that is going to be coming out in Apex Legends, which I think is good. I mean, I think solos and duos would be fun. Quads, I think, would be awesome. I'd love to see, 4 people just, dropping together, going at it. I think that would make some very interesting games for sure. But like I said, everyone, I want to hear from all of you. What do you all think about it? I'd love to hear all of your guys' feedback out there regarding Apex Legends and Battle Royale as a whole. What do you guys think about it? Let me know, everyone, and I want to say thank you so much for stopping by the 8 Below podcast, episode number 10. I hope you guys did enjoy it, and if you did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.